if you think you're undeserving, you'll never pick a wonderful person to be with. And they're not going to pick you either, because you can smell shame. It is not pretty, and it's pretty smelly. You can tell a person that is driven by shame and just trying to get by and cope with it versus somebody who is free from it. From New Life Ministries, this is Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn. I'm Stephen Arterburn. And Going Deeper is all about taking the tough issues, the hard issues of life, looking a little bit deeper inside so that we can gain some insight into our lives. Hi, Steve Arterburn here, and thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. We're involved in a series, well, I hope we are, I am, and I hope you're joining me for this series on shame. You know, shame is such a great tool of Satan, because if Satan can get us ashamed and living in shame, then we're like Adam and Eve in the garden. We're walking around, before they were naked and unashamed, and then all they had to do was not eat some fruit and watch out for snakes. They didn't do either. They ate the fruit, and then this serpent comes up, and just messes up their life. Actually, he came first, then they ate the fruit. All right, so then they're ashamed and they're hiding. And if we're living like Adam and Eve are, doing stuff we shouldn't be doing, then we're going to be living in shame. And Satan loves that. Satan doesn't want you worshiping Satan, right? No. He sure doesn't want you worshiping God. And he doesn't want you worshiping him. What does he want you worshiping? You. Satan wants you to worship you. He wants you to believe you deserve everything you want. And then you discover, you go out and try to get that. And it's not according to God's plan. And you do this stuff. You thought you had such great freedom, but it eats you alive. And you end up full of shame. That terrorist on board, tainting everything that you do. Well, here's the thing. Satan uses shame, and people that live in shame are really weird. Yeah, you're weird. You're always trying to compensate for these negative feelings you have about yourself, or you're trying to justify what you're doing, or you are so unbelieving that there's anything better, you're just living in it, living through it, and that's going to be your whole life if something doesn't change. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people never ask for help. Why? Because of shame. They don't want to reveal to somebody, even though it's a stranger on an 800, they don't want to reveal to somebody, I've got a problem. I'm ashamed. And so they stay locked in. And that shame is going to destroy a person's happiness. The Bible doesn't just say we ought to be joyful, which kind of, to me, means no matter how bad things are, look at the bright side, have some joy. But there's also a call for happiness. And in the Serenity Prayer, we see where it says reasonable happiness is what we can find here on earth. And supreme, amazing, exceptional happiness with God for all eternity. And if you're not experiencing that, then why not? Maybe there's something that needs to be changed. Now, maybe you're thinking that you don't deserve good things in life. Maybe you don't even think you deserve good health, so you don't eat well, you don't exercise. Maybe you don't think that you deserve to use the gifts that God has given you to create a better life. I don't know what it is, but I know this. Shame messes people up. So, if that terrorist is holding you hostage, because let's just say it's something you did, let me ask you, did you do the best you could? Like, given what you were going through, did you do kind of what you knew to do and you didn't know any better? That happens. You know better now. No need to repeat it. But don't hold yourself responsible for you didn't know any better. Maybe you weren't taught. Or maybe you were reacting to something painful back there and you made the wrong decision. Did you learn anything from it? Did you, maybe you're a different person now, you're not the same, Maybe you have a different understanding. And so you could actually say that that worst horrible thing, actually God used it to create something good within you. But if all you're doing is living back in the shame, then nothing good is ever going to come from it. So a person living in shame really needs to challenge some conclusions that you've made about yourself. If any of them have limits on happiness, achievement, peace, serenity, and relationship. If you think you're undeserving, you'll never pick a wonderful person to be with. And they're not going to pick you either, because you can smell shame. It is not pretty, and it's pretty smelly. You can tell a person that is driven by shame and just trying to get by and cope with it versus somebody who is free from it. So what we want to do is we want to resolve the things of the past. We want to get out of the behaviors in the present, and we want to relate to people who are doing the exact same thing. Then we're working together in relationship to make our lives better, free from behaviors that would add shame to our life. Now, wouldn't it be a shame if you didn't live like that? Of course it would. Now, what's the hope? Here's some hope. You're still listening to this, or you're still watching this. So you're interested in things being different. Well, I hope you'll continue through the whole series, because I think before it's over with, you could be a different person. Now, we all have heard of courage. And you know, my definition for courage is doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, no matter the consequences. The courageous person doesn't drive by a burning car and say, man, too bad I didn't get there sooner. I could have helped that guy. No, you stop the car, you get out, you courageously pull that guy out of that burning car, even if it's going to blow up in your face. That's what courage does. Doesn't mean you're not afraid of it. Well, I think one of the most courageous things is when we go inside and search inside and see what's really there. I don't know, it's just so hard for us to look at who we are. But when we do, we see it, we accept it, and then we can change it. So what I'm hoping is that whatever we've held on to about ourselves that's negative, if it's based in shame, and we could change that. What does God say about you? God says you were fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. He says, I know the plans that I have for you, and they're plans for a good life with purpose and meaning. But you're never going to live into that if you're living into the shame. Now, I have this little acronym called CASH, Companions Against Shame's Harm. And the next time we're together, that's what I'm going to help you understand. What are the things that can go against this harmful shame? That if I take them through life, maybe I can get rid of the shame and stay free from it. We'll do that next time here on Going Deeper. Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for joining me. If you need some help, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you for joining me for Going Deeper. I hope something I've said may have helped just a little bit. If you have a question you'd like me to answer or comment, just email me at stevesocial@newlife.com. I'll see you next time.
If you want to support Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn, be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if you know someone who would benefit from this episode, be sure to share it with them. See you on the next Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn from New Life Ministries.